Why Facebook is the AOL of 2021. The 1990s had a word for being trapped inside a manipulative notion of human contact, AOL. Facebook and its ilk are the rebirth of that limited vision. Once upon a time, around 30 years ago, there existed a computer network known as America Online. AOL, as it was often known, mailed out little diskettes and occasionally hid them in the center of popular periodicals. People might use the diskettes to connect to the internet. There was already an internet, but most people were unaware of its existence or how to use it. A few days ago, I was reflecting on what Facebook has become, and in retrospect, it has essentially become AOL. If you remember the early days of the internet, AOL was the internet that everyone used. It was everything back then, and it is now Facebook. It's kind of odd that we've just completed a massive time loop back to AOL. Then I saw that Facebook has changed its name to Meta, aka Metaverse, and has a new logo that looks like a twisted donut, which is fitting because that's pretty much what Facebook is today, a full figure-8 loop back to the AOL of old. Unlike AOL, where your internet access was a part of AOL and far less expensive, Facebook is more nefarious. It's like a digital leech that follows you wherever you go and does everything you do, whether you're actively using it or not. It might be the beginning of the Matrix, since it is so linked to everything that it collects information on almost everything you do online with a computer or smart device and then sells it. Its product is you. You sit in front of it for hours, absorbed with meaningless rubbish, and when you take a break and glance around the room, it nearly feels like you've entered a 3D world. I believe I got off Facebook just in time. It has devolved into an awful propaganda institution, pushing social justice causes as well as its own political goal. I saw myself being censored repeatedly, and perhaps even worse, seeing my family members' posts with huge fake news according to our independent fact-checkers labels. That was the end of it for me. Before Facebook got commercial and began manipulating elections, one of the things I enjoyed about it was that it was a reasonably open platform. There were no manipulated news feeds to force things. Facebook, Meta, wanted to show me. I could see all of my friends and family's posts in my news feed. There were no Black Lives Matter, register to vote, or climate change tabs in my face, and there were no so-called fact-checkers who only censored specific content Facebook's leadership didn't like. I was able to be a passively quiet conservative Christian, and politics were never a topic of conversation with me. However, the current version of Facebook, with its phony fact-checkers, giving me political ideas I wasn't interested in, and then censoring and banning public figures I was, including pastors, produced a socially unfriendly atmosphere. It has devolved into turmoil and uncertainty, with daily friends and family screaming about being banned and harassed by Facebook. It became a virtual mirror of the rioting, looting, and violence seen in the streets by socialist leaders and the progressive movement. I and my family had never put our values or dissatisfactions on anyone else, and having someone else impose theirs on me, especially at a corporate level with control over the material that billions of people consume, has no suitable phrase to express it. Maybe it's similar to what Jews went through in Germany, or what Japanese people went through in US internment camps. I'm not sure. Anyone having this much influence over myself and people I care about is simply unfathomable. With any hope, Facebook will follow in the footsteps of MySpace and AOL. Hopefully, something less poisonous will emerge, allowing friends and family to reconnect without being influenced, with posts visible to all of my friends and family. Perhaps we'll all simply wake up and start acting like adults, going hiking, swimming, cycling, and lounging on the porch. Maybe.